test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Okay. I did. I tested that one out. Test, test, test. All right. Test, 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 test. Any better? Sweet. Okay, I'll just let it stream and turn down the crowd mic. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. It's another windy Friday evening here for the Great Bend High School baseball team. That means a road trip, and it is their final conference game of the season for GBHS as the bus has arrived in Dodge City to take on the Red Demons. And an even little bit more special zing to today's matchup for Great Bend. Just a single game coming their way. If they win, they get a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship with Hayes High. So a little extra to play for the final conference game of the season for Great Bend on the road this Friday night. Cole Rife with you. Thanks for tuning in to our online stream of Great Bend High School baseball. GBHS on a little bit of a roll, taking on a Dodge City team that's also on a roll, as Great Bend now have won 4 straight games, record at 10-3 overall, and are 5-2 in WAC play. They take on a Dodge City team that has won 3 straight contests coming into this evening's matchup. Dodge City now 6-7 overall and 2-3 in Western Athletic Conference play, as they still have a couple games against Liberal to close out their season. For the Panthers, trying to get their 5th win of the season will be Chase Gruber, the starting pitcher, and Dodge City responds with Dawson Taylor as their starting ace on the mound this Friday night at Demon Field. It is another windy Friday evening, and most of that wind was really not too bad during the JV ball game, but as soon as that JV game closed at about 5:45 this evening, that wind started to pick up, wouldn't you know it? So it is starting to howl, coming right from behind us, going across home plate and out near center to right center field. So there's a good hitter's wind, if you will, for tonight's ball game, as we expect it to die down a little bit later on in the evening. Let's go and run through the starting lineups, beginning with Great Bend. Sage Kelsch starts at shortstop. He'll lead things off for the offense for the Panthers. Paco Hernandez hitting left field, hitting second. Chase Gruber, mentioned the starting pitcher. He hits third. Steph Spray, the first baseman, hitting fourth. Gavin Haberman will be hitting fifth and in center field. Brad Beck, again the DH like we saw him this past Tuesday in Hayes against TMP. Tyler Stuhlsatz, who had a great doubleheader against the Monarchs Tuesday in right field, hitting seventh. Carter Combs, the second baseman, hitting eighth. And Jade Poe, the starting catcher, will hit ninth for Great Bend. Joseph Mater in that defensive alignment, but not hitting. He'll be in left field, or excuse me, at third base tonight for Great Bend. So just a single game only between Great Bend and Dodge City, as head coach Shipley for the Red Demons. You're looking at his offensive alignment. We'll send out Tucker Smith. He'll hit first in center field. Eric Mendoza, the third baseman, hits second. Aiden Sowers, the first baseman, hitting third. Jason Keck, the shortstop, hitting cleanup in the fourth spot. Caleb Miles in the 5-hole. He'll be playing second base for Dodge City. Sage Rickenberg, the starting catcher, hitting sixth. Mars Ruiz, the right fielder, hitting seventh. Leighton Blandkick, the left fielder, hitting eighth. And Dawson Taylor, the starting pitcher for Dodge City, will be hitting ninth for the Red Demons. So 6 and 7 for Dodge City. Great Bend sitting at 10 and 3. We'll pause momentarily, let you listen in to today's national anthem before we get to first pitch in Dodge. So getting a little closer to first pitch this Friday evening after the national anthem coming to a completion. Dodge City mentioned also riding a winning streak. They've won 3 straight games coming to the matchup with Great Bend. Knocked off Garden City on the road in a single game this past Tuesday. Then they played a triangular non-conference game against Garden City and won 2-1. Then knocked off Scott City by a score of 16-6 here in Dodge. So they have won 3 straight games. The Dodge City team got off to a rocky start. They dropped their first 4 games against pretty good competition. Lost a couple to Andover, then lost to Newton and Valley Center on the road before they picked up their first win of the season April 5th against Garden City. Won a couple games against Wichita South, got swept by Hayes High this year, losing both games to Hayes here in Dodge by a score of 8-2. Then they lost to Great Bend back at the sports complex on April 19th as Great Bend outlasted them in a score of 4-3. And then they started that 3-game winning streak against Garden City, Scott City, and then Garden City once again. And for the Red Demons, mentioned they still have a doubleheader. Well, it won't be a doubleheader. It'll be 2 single games against Liberal coming up on May 10th at Liberal. And then they're at home against Liberal coming up on May 12th. They'll have a triangular again coming up next Tuesday for their next action. So Great Bend, we mentioned last Tuesday on the road against TMP, able to knock off the Monarchs 7-3 in the first game, a game in which was tied going into the 6th inning, but Great Bend erupted for 4 runs in the 6th, went on to win 7-3, then picked up the easy 15-0 win against TMP in game number 2 to get their record to now 10-3 overall and have won 4 straight games. So ready for first pitch at Demon Field in Dodge City, as it'll come down at 6:26, so a later start than expected here this Friday evening as Sage Kelch gets underneath of Dawson Taylor's first pitch, sends it out in the left field, but with that win, anything but easy as Chasten Keck, the shortstop, outs about 10-15 feet into the grass and left center field, able to squeeze it in for out number 1. So 1 gone on 1 pitch as it'll send up Paco Hernandez to the plate. And Hernandez and many of the Great Bend Panthers had monstrous games this past Tuesday in the doubleheader against TMP as Taylor sends in the first pitch to Paco high for ball number 1. That defensive alignment for Dodge City behind a Dawson Taylor. Eric Mendoza at third base, Chasten Keck at shorts. This pitch stays on the outer part of the plate away from the hitting Paco Hernandez for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Caleb Miles at second base, Aiden Sowers at first base for Dodge City. Outside on the 1-1 pitch, 2 balls, 1 strike. Outfield has Leighton Blatnick in the left. It'll be Tucker Smith in center field and Mars Ruiz in right field. Swing and a miss by Paco as the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Sage Rickenberg, the starting catcher for Dodge City. Rickenberg looks over to the Dodge City dugout, gets the call. Taylor will send it into home plate and got Hernandez to reach out on an outside pitch, and he goes down swinging for out number 2. Something that we haven't seen a whole lot all season long is Paco Hernandez striking out, as that is the only second strikeout of the entire season for Hernandez. That'll bring up Chase Gruber, today's starting pitcher for Great Bend. First pitch in there for strike number 1. So a quick dealing at Dawson Taylor out on the mound, considered one of the better pitchers for Dodge City this afternoon. Inside pitch got the inner part of the plates for strike number 2, quickly 0-2 on Gruber. So Taylor is dealing right now and wasting little time in between pitches as Gruber sets back in for the 0-2. Taylor sends it in towards home plate, bounced in and nearly hit Gruber on the hop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Taylor, his 6th appearance on the season, has a record of 1-1, an ERA of 5.25, just that 16 innings pitched coming into the starting matchup for Dodge City as the 1-2 comes hopping in once again on this artificial turf on the infield at Demon Field. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Chase Gruber, 2 gone in the top of the first inning. 2 quick outs recorded on Great Bend's Kelsh and Hernandez. Gruber trying to extend the inning a little bit. 2-2 comes in. This one ripped right back up the middle, and Great Bend has their first hit of the evening as Jace Gruber, a 2-out single, will bring up Steph Spray in the top of the first inning. Well, hits were not hard to come by in that second game at Tuesday at TMP as Great Bend had 20 hits against the Monarchs in 4 innings. That was what was even more remarkable about it as Great Bend had an 8-run 4th inning. Taylor tries to settle back in after giving up his first hit outside of Steph Spray. Snap throw down to first, but back in safely is going to be Gruber. Spray comes in hitting .275, trying to get back on track after a rough 5-game stretch as he takes a pretty good cut at an upstairs pitch. And it goes to 0-2 on the count. They call that first pitch for a strike against Spray, one of 8 seniors on this Great Bend roster in 2022. Gruber takes his lead at first, and Spray holds still on strike 3 called. So for Dawson Taylor, a couple strikeouts in the first inning as Great Bend had 1 hit by Gruber, but stranded him at first base. And the Panthers unable to score in the first inning. Bottom half of the first coming up here at Demon Field in Dodge City on GreatBendPost.com. Big thanks to the Mater family and also the Spray family for bringing us our broadcast on GreatBendPost.com. A Great Bend on the road this Friday night for a single game against Dodge City. 0 game going into the bottom of the first inning as Dodge City will get their first crack at it with the bats. So win tonight would give Great Bend a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship as Dodge City trying to prevent that this Friday evening on their home field. So second go around with Dodge City and Great Bend as the Panthers are able to knock off Dodge City the first go-around back at the Sports Complex on April 19th. The Great Bend won that ball game by a score of 4-3. The Panthers, they went down quietly offensively, now trying to do the same to Dodge City in the bottom half of the first. And strike 1 called as will be Chase Gruber burning in a fastball to Tucker Smith. Gruber ready to go on the 0-1 pitch, and again a fastball this time locates outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Smith. Smith, Mendoza, and Sowers all due up to start out today's ball game for Dodge City. Smith, the starting center fielder for the Red Demons, takes a cut at this one, but Gruber sticking with the heat as he gets it by him. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jade Poe getting the start at catcher this evening for the single game in Dodge City, as Brad Beck, the DH tonight for Great Bend. As a 1-2 from a Gruber, this one nicked by Smith to stay alive as he hits it to the backstop. Still a 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joseph Mader makes the start at third base. Sage Kelch, the shortstop. Carter Combs at second base. And Steph Spray at first base for the Great Bend defense in their red jerseys. 1-2 pitch, took something off of it, but can't get it back down in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hernandez out in left field. Gavin Haberman in center field. And Stulsatz in right field for that defensive alignment for Great Bend. 2-2 brought in. This one belted to left field, but right at Paco Hernandez. Took 1 to 2 steps up and made the catch for out number 1 in the bottom of the first inning. He hit that one squarely, but Paco barely had a move to record the first out as Eric Mendoza stepped up to the plate for Dodge City with 1 gone in the bottom of the first inning in a scoreless game. Gruber's been very good his senior season on the mound as he gets a big hack from Mendoza that barely nicks the ball and falls behind 0-1 on the batter. Gruber making his 7th appearance on the mound. This will be his 5th start of the season. Comes in with a record of 4-1, and he was the starting pitcher against Dodge City the last time these two teams played. In fact, that was the last outing that Gruber has on the mound back on April 19th. 0-1 to Mendoza, brought in across the middle, strike 2 called. Gruber went all 7 innings against Dodge City back in Great Bend. Gave up just 4 hits and 3 runs. Also had 8 strikeouts in that game. 0-2 sending a home plate. Got him reaching, poked it out into fair territory, and it'll land in between Spray and Stulsatz at first and right field. He got Mendoza to stretch out across the plates and just pokes it into right field. And that'll be how the first hit is recorded for Dodge City with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Here comes Aiden Sowers. That game against Dodge City back in Great Bend, Chase Gruber, mentioned only giving up the 3 runs and 8 strikeouts, didn't walk a single batter in that game. As Sowers pops up to the right side, should have room for Steph Spray near the Great Bend dugout and squeezes it in behind his head for out number 2. So Chase and Keck, the starting shortstop, coming up for Dodge City with a runner on at first and 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. And Gruber, he motored through that Dodge City lineup in mid-April. Only faced 26 batters in that contest. And threw 82 pitches in that game. So he had a very productive and efficient outing. Here's the first pitch coming in to Keck that mislocates outside and low for ball number 1. A well shot hit by Smith to lead off the inning for Dodge City, but hit it right at Paco Hernandez in left field. Mendoza follows up with a bloop single, then a pop-up by Sowers. 2 gone. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Again, lined out in left field. Hernandez diving in and has the catch. Paco Hernandez with the cap falling off his head. Slides head first to make the catch for out number 3 to close out the first inning. What a snag by Paco out in left field. A 0-0 ball game after 1 complete at Demon Field. Back with the top of the second right after this on GreatBendPost.com. Ready to go for the top of the second inning. Great Bend coming to the plate at Dodge City this Friday evening. 0-0 ball game. Gavin Haberman leads things off for GBHS, followed by Brad Beck and Tyler Stuhlsatz. Panthers had a hit in their first inning of play with a single by Gruber, but eventually stranded him as Dawson Taylor, starting pitcher for Dodge City, recorded a couple strikeouts in that first half inning of work and pitches low to Haberman for ball number 1. Taylor now with 14 strikeouts on the outing, or on the season for Dodge City. And a swing and a miss by Haberman as they'll take it to 1-1. A senior pitcher with now over 17 innings of work for the Red Demons. As walked 10 batters along with those 14 strikeouts. 1-1 pitch comes hopping in around the ankles for Haberman. 2 balls and a strike. Pitching the ERA of 5.25 for Taylor, so he's given up 13 runs, 12 of which have been earned. 2-1 sent into home plate, and a quick chopper going foul left side. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Gavin. Haberman, 3 hits in that doubleheader against TMP on Tuesday. Went 3 for 6 against the Monarchs. Had a couple doubles, including 2 RBIs. Awaits the 2-2. Brought in, outside, stretches out, pushes it over on the infield on a ground ball. Miles has it, and over to first base for out number 1. So that'll send up Brad Beck, the DH, this Friday night for Great Bend. And like many of the GBHS Panthers, he had a sensational outing against TMP on Tuesday. Had a 4-hit doubleheader as he went 4 for 7 with 4 RBIs in that game. So Beck awaiting the first pitch, and he fouls this one to the backstop, and it'll go to 0-1, and now on Beck. Beck coming into the matchup with a 3-game hitting streak, has upped his average to 270 so far in the season. 0-1 brought into the senior DH tonight, and it just does miss outside for ball number 1. 4 straight games that Beck has had at least 1 RBI. He's had 6 in the last 4. 1-1 stays in on the inner part of the plate on a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Beck. First game against TMP, went 1 for 3 with an RBI, walked a couple times, then he had that big second game going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Easy layoff and 1 upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes as Dawson Taylor starting to work around a little bit on Brad Beck. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the second inning. 0-0 game at Demon Field. Great Bend and Dodge City. 2-2 inside to Beck. And it'll go to a full count to one of the 8 seniors here for Great Bend. That wind was howling before the start of today's ball game during warm-ups as the 3-2 brought in by Taylor, and Beck got all of this one, but quickly rips it foul and out of play behind the batting cages over on the left field line. Wind has died down a little bit. You have to hear those gusts coming in. Again, the 3-2 holds off on 1 around the ankles. And it'll be a 1-out walk as Beck is on board for the first free base given up by Dawson Taylor of Dodge City. So we'll see Tyler Stuhlsatz for the first time in this offensive lineman for Great Bend, starting in right field tonight. Stuhlsatz was able to come alive offensively Tuesday night in Hayes against the Monarchs. Went 2 for 4 in both the games against TMP. Had a couple doubles, 1 in each of the contests, and jumps out of the way on an inside pitch. 1-0 counts now to Stuhlsatz. Tyler went 4 for 8 Tuesday night in Hayes. Mentioned the couple doubles and the 2 RBIs in that doubleheader with the Monarchs. And that was a welcome sign for the Panthers as Tyler was just 1 for 9 at the plate going into that doubleheader at TMP. Then he went 4 for 8. He's now batting .294 on the season. And looking to start out with the hits as he awaits the 1-0 pitch from Taylor as he brings it in. And he rips it to the left side. A ground ball pokes through. And Stuhlsatz stays hot in Dodge City this Friday night with 1 out in the top of the second inning. Runners at first and second for the Panthers as Carter Combs will come to the plate. So Stuhlsatz records the second hit of the ball game for the Great Bend Panthers. Coming off a 20-hit second game against TMP on Tuesday night. First and second for Combs, the 8-hitter in this Panther lineup. as they throw back to second to push back Brad Beck with 1 out in the top of the second inning. Holmes comes in riding a 3-game hitting streak for the Panthers as his first pitch comes his way, and he wanted to smack that one somewhere, but comes up empty on the first swing, 0-1. He was unstoppable in that second game against the Monarchs. Combs going 3 for 3 with an RBI. Overall in that doubleheader went 4 for 6. Taylor nods his head, sends in the 0-1. Combs shoots it into deep center field. The wind could cause some problems, but the center fielder Smith able to make a nice snag over his shoulder. Great Bend's Beck will tag up from second and make his way down to third, now with 2 outs in the second inning. I was still about 15 feet away from the wall in left center field for Combs, but anything that high up with the wind this Friday evening is not going to be easy, but Tucker Smith did a pretty good job bringing that one in over his head. So 2 outs in the top of the second inning, 0-0 ball game. Panthers now with runners at first and third as Jade Poe comes up to the plate. Beck is at third base. Stulsatz with a single at first base, and this one catches the inside part of the plate for strike number 1. Now the wind wasn't bad when we first arrived here in Dodge City, as it was still 15, 16 miles per hour, but it was very off and on. It really picked up at the conclusion of that JV game about 5:45 this evening, and that pushed back the start of tonight's varsity game that was expected to go around 6 o'clock. Didn't have first pitch until 6:26. Here's the 0-1 to Poe, and he pushes it foul. Pops it up, should have room for Sowers off the first base bag, and he grabs it behind the coach's box, and that'll do it for the inning. So for the Great Bend Panthers, they had 2 on with just 1 out, but will strand both runners at first and third on 1 hit in the second inning. A 0-0 game at Demon Field. Bottom of the second inning coming up next on GreatBendPost.com. Great Bend and Dodge City going at it this Friday night at Demon Field. Cole Rife with you. Big thanks to the Spray and Mater family bringing us our broadcast on GreatBendPost.com. Panthers had a couple chances with runners on, a couple runners on with just 1 out in the top half of the second inning, but come up empty. And now Dodge City coming to the plate to the bottom of the second inning with a 0-0 ball game. Chase Gruber, pretty good outing in the first half inning pitching for Great Bend, gave up just 1 hit and was able to eventually strand that runner after Mendoza got on board as the second hitter with a pop-up and a line-out and a beautiful catch by Paco Hernandez in left field to record the final out. So Gruber will take on Caleb Miles to lead things off for Dodge City as the wind continues to howl across Demon Field. Pitch outside for ball number 1. Gruber with an ERA of 1.05 coming into the matchup against Dodge, and sees a massive cut by Miles come up whiffing. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's only given up 9 runs in over 27 innings pitching so far tonight, and only 4 of those 9 have been earned as he misses low to Miles for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Gruber making his first appearance on the mound since going against Dodge City at home in Great Bend on April 19th, where he went all 7 innings to get the win against Dodge in that 4-3 ball game. A lot on the line for Great Bend tonight in Dodge City, but no, it's not going to be easy, especially against a resurging Red Demons team. And as the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike against the right-handed hitting Caleb Miles. Gruber sends in the next pitch and hits the zone directly down the middle of the plate to take the 3 balls and 2 strikes. Crowd's starting to pick up a little bit more here at Red Demon Field. We're just outside to the left of the press box. 3-2 pitch, and this one fouled off the bat. Mislocated by Poe, able to track it down and throw it down to first base in time to complete the strikeout for Gruber. So they're going to say it didn't hit the bat, and that relocated was just ricocheting off the glove of Poe. And finally able to track it down about 10 feet beyond home plate to his right and throw it down to first for out number 1. So Sage Rickenberg will come up to the plate for Dodge City with 1 gone in the bottom of the second inning. The 0-0 game as Gruber has the off-speed pitch misfire high for ball number 1. Well, I mentioned Gruber with an ERA of 1.05. Great Bend as a team, pitching staff has an ERA of 2.71 coming into the single game at Dodge City. Gruber unable to find a spot again on the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody on, 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. 0-0 game with Dodge and Great Bend. Strike 1 called. 2 balls and a strike. 5th start of the season for Chase Gruber. A 4-1 record. 2-1 comes in on the torso of Rickenberg, and he wore that one completely. Gruber trying to make the case that Rickenberg may have swung through that. I don't know if it hit any of the bat, but they're going to see if that one was a full swing by Rickenberg, and now the 2 umpires will discuss things in between first and home. Well, he definitely took it in on the side of his torso, and they might get him the strike on the swing through. You talk about a tough break for Sage Rickenberg. Not only did you have to take one in, and now Coach Shipley will come out for Dodge City. Now you have to come back to the plate after getting drilled because you swung through. Zach Shipley still trying to get his words in with the home plate umpire on that discussion, and now they want the first base umpire to come back in as well on his view and his version of it. And saying he did swing all the way through, and Coach Shipley trying to make the case that it was just a protective action, a reaction, if you will, by Rickenberg after his coming in, and he knew he was going to hit him. He was trying to protect himself, bringing the bat up. That was the motion that Coach Shipley did, but he's not looking like he's going to win any arguments here tonight as he makes his way back over to the third base dugout. So that'll take it to a 2-2 count on Sage Rickenberg, and still just 1 out in the bottom of the second inning in a scoreless game. And now Rickenberg takes a timeout right before Gruber was going into his motion on the mound and steps back in. He's pretty tight to home plate. 2-2 brought in by Gruber. Fastball zooms in outside for ball 3. Strikeout to start out the inning for Chase Gruber. Now looking for another one for out number 2. 3-2 pitch comes in low, and it'll be a walk, giving up a well-earned walk by Sage Rickenberg. So for the back-to-back innings now, Dodge City has a runner on at first after they had a single in the top or at the bottom of the first inning. And now they draw a walk with Rickenberg. Starting catcher will get a pinch runner as Remington will come into the game now for the Red Demons. Remington Miller, the sophomore, out on first base, replacing the catcher, Rickenberg. Great Bend on the road the rest of the season for the Panthers, at least in the regular season, as the first pitch fouled straight back and off the pole behind the backstop as he takes on Mars Ruiz at the plate, starting in right field tonight for Dodge City. As the Panthers will get set out tonight to have their early May tournament in Hayes. 4 games coming up, starting up on Thursday night against Hayes High in a non-conference game at 6 o'clock Thursday evening. Then they'll play a couple games on Friday, then 1 game on Saturday in Hayes for the Diamond Classic. No balls and a strike on Ruiz. Runner down at first. He takes a cut at this one, pops it up on the infield. Kelch going back. Holmes calls him off and has the grab just behind the second base bag for out number 2. The runner still at first base. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. 0-0 game as Leighton Blatnick will come up to the plate for Dodge City. Red Demons 6-7 on the season. They're 2-3 in WAC play. They were swept by Hayes, lost to Great Bend for their 3 losses. And their 2 wins, both coming against Garden City. Throw to first base, under the glove of Spray. It rolls back to the first base dugout. And that allowed Dodge City's Remington to advance to second base with 2 outs. Dodge City, they just got off to that rough start, losing their first 4 games, and they won 3 straight, lost 3 straight games, and now have won 3 straight. So it's been a roller coaster of a season for Coach Shipley and the Red Demons as strike 1 is called against Ruiz. Miller down at second base. Gruber sets on the batter with 2 outs, unable to get the call on an outside pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike on Blatnick. Dodge averaging about 6 runs per game, coming off a 7-3 win at Garden City on Tuesday night. In a single game against the Buffaloes, 1-1, stays up high and in on the right-handed hitting Blatnick, 2 balls and a strike. The Dodge City team that has had some issues with strikeouts throughout the season in the 6-7 campaign. As Gruber is ready to go on the 2-1. Can't get the check swing on Blatnick on a high pitch, 3 balls and a strike. The Dodge City lineup that averages about 7 strikeouts per game. Gruber has struck out 1 so far tonight. 3-1, there's a swing and a miss, says he'll take it to a full count with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning in a 0-0 game. Dodge City players have struck out 93 times this year. 3-2 brought in, swing and a miss. There it is, another one for Gruber and the Panthers. Second strikeout of the inning, and it closes it out in the seconds. So for Dodge City, they get another one on board via the walk. He advances to second, but stranded there. A 0-0 game going to the top of the third inning on GreatBendPost.com. The Great Bend will have the top of their lineup to start out the third inning in Dodge City in a 0-0 contest. Sage Kelch, Paco Hernandez, and Chase Gruber. Panthers 2 hits so far this evening have out-hit Dodge City 2-1 in this scoreless affair, but neither team has made a huge push. Great Bend had an opportunity in the second with runners at first and second with 1 out. Eventually had first and third with 2 outs, but unable to get them home. So here's Kelch, who popped up to shortstop his first time up as he watches one stay outside from Dawson Taylor for ball number 1. Well, Great Bend winning their 4 straight games have been able to see themselves climb a little bit in the Class 5A West standings. 1-0 pitch. Kelch shoots this one out in the left field. Needs to get down. A diving catch. It goes underneath the glove of the left fielder Blatnick. And Kelch is on board. A great attempt by Blatnick as he dove head first, but unable to make a similar catch that Hernandez did back in the first inning. And Kelch is on board with nobody out to start out the third inning. So a quick start for GBHS is Paco Hernandez, who struck out for just the second time all season. His first time up against Dawson Taylor. Gets his second look at it and pops it up and straight back to the backstop for strike number 1. Panthers now tied for second in the Class 5A West Regional standings. Still a lot of baseball to be played as Great Bend playing in their 14th ball game of the season, as they still have 6 games left on their regular schedule. As Yohan Hernandez now showing bunt, pushes down the left side, and this one will be close right to the bag, and it hits the bag fair. Well, the third baseman, Eric Mendoza, he was walking that one up the line, hoping it was going to eventually peel foul, but never did as it collided with the third base bag, and Paco Hernandez is able to push in a bunt single. And now first and second for Great Bend, nobody out, and here comes Chase Gruber. About midway through between home plate and third as Chase Gruber pops it up into center field. Tucker Smith calls everybody off as he settles underneath it and has the catch. Not nearly deep enough to tag up Kelch from second. So now one gone for first and second. Here's Steph Spray. Paco, man, did he hit that one well. I don't blame Mendoza trying to wait on that one to see if it's going to go foul, because about halfway through between home and third, it looked like it was curling just a little bit and had plenty of time to go foul, but never did as it almost straightened up. As Spray settles in and comes up empty on his first cut, 0-1. Outside of that Hayes tournament next week for 4 games starting on Thursday, Great Bend will have a doubleheader at Goddard Eisenhower to close out their regular season. As Taylor steps off the rubber and looks back Kelch at second base. Panthers did not have a problem getting hits against TMP on Tuesday as Spray swings through another one and falls behind 0-2. Had 31 hits in the doubleheader against TMP, including 20 in the second game. They had 3 hits so far tonight, with 1 out in the top of the third inning in a 0-0 game. Spray on an 0-2, fights it off foul, right side. He'll do it again. There are 2 good pitching performances in those games. It started with Tyler Stulsatz in game number 1, going all 7 innings, including striking out the side in the 7th. It just seemed like he got better as that game went on. Taylor again steps off the rubber and looks back Kelch at second. And then Spray, who's at the plate right now, only had to go 4 innings in that 15-0 win against TMP in game number 2, but he was lights out as well, not allowing TMP to get anything going. 0-2 brought in tight, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Talking to Randy Beck after that ball game against TMP, winning 15-0, and said, sometimes it's just nice to get those no-brainers, the one you don't have to think a whole lot about. 1-2, Spray lays off on a pitch upstairs, evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You go through those grinding, grueled outs, 2 outs, 7th inning, needing a run. Well, it's kind of nice to get a 15-0 win. Chopper goes up the middle, and a throw over to first base is the only play for the shortstop, Chasten Keck. Both runners will advance as the shortstop, Keck, was moving in across the second base bag, so didn't have a chance at the ground ball double play, but gets the out at first for out number 2. So after a couple of hits by Great Bend, a fly out and a ground out, second and third for the Panthers for Gavin Haberman. Haberman 0 for 1 so far tonight as he grounded out to the second baseman his first time up and lays off on a pitch inside, knocked down by the catcher Rickenberg for ball number 1. Taylor went through 4 batters in the first inning, 5 in the second. Faces his 5th batter with Haberman at the plate, but misses upstairs for ball number 2. Haberman hitting .385 on the season, still leads the team in RBIs, has 16 ribbies so far this year. And has runners at second and third, 2-0 brought in, holds off on a pitch right across the middle for strike 1. Haberman with a short 3-game hitting streak coming into this single game at Dodge City. Had a multi-hit game in the second game against TMP. Holds off on a pitch outside, and the count goes to 3-1 on Gavin. He's been good at drawing walks, especially as of late. He has drawn 5 walks in the last 5 games. Here's the 3-1, and Gavin taken all the way on a pitch above the zone, and it's a 5-pitch walk. Bases loaded for Brad Beck. Kelch down at third, Hernandez at second. Haberman at first base for Brad Beck, who drew a walk his first time up. That was the first walk given up by Taylor as Beck holds off in a pitch above the zone, 1-0. And Jim Beck starting to hit pretty well these last few outings, now up to 270 on the season, 1-0, unable to locate inside, and it goes to 2-0. The Dodge City fans start to see that zone tighten up a little bit. That one's just barely inside on Beck. As he settles back in for the 2-0, brought into home plate. That one's across the middle. Beck gave it a shot, but hits it straight back and foul. Beck leads a team in the amount of times he's been beamed so far this year. He's been knocked 3 times this season. The 2-1 brought in. This one stays low to the shoe tops of Beck, and an easy layoff for the senior DH tonight. 3 balls and a strike to Beck. Bases loaded in a scoreless game. Top the third inning with 2 outs. Beck holding on the 3-1, sit in, and gave it another shot, but quickly going foul on a moonshot as that one bounces down near Morgan Boulevard here in Dodge City. He knew he had to take a cut at that one, even on the 3-1. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch coming up for Taylor. Sending across the middle. Ground ball goes to the third baseman. Mendoza goes across the diamond, and the first baseman holds his toes down on a throw a little bit off target, but keeps his foot down to record the out and keeps Great Bend scoreless in the third inning. So the Panthers get a couple of hits to start out the inning, but then go down quietly after that and lead the bases loaded. Scoreless in Dodge City. Red Demons coming to the plate in the bottom of the third on GreatBendPost.com. Welcome back to Demon Field in Dodge City. 0-0 game between Great Bend and the Red Demons. Big time matchup for Great Bend in their final conference game of the season. If they could get a win against Dodge, they would claim a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship, but they knew it wasn't going to be easy, and it's a grind out so far as Gruber delivers strike number 1 to the opening batter, Dawson Taylor, in the bottom of the third inning. Gruber has been smooth so far through 2 innings of work. Here's a ground ball right side. Combs covers it, but then drops it out of his glove as he was trying to make a fielding play on a throw over to first base. Combs was all over it, but as it slipped out of his hands as he was looking to throw it over two-step spray at first base. And Dawson Taylor reaches on an error with nobody out, and here comes Tucker Smith. Tucker Smith ripped the ball to left field his first time up. It was right at Paco Hernandez, who had to take 2 steps forward to come up with a catch. Now showing bunt. He smacks it to the left side. Coming in, Mater, sidearm throw, and a good-looking throw by Mater. And then a throw over to third from Spray, but nobody was there to cover the third base bag. And now a runner will come in to score. That's Dawson Taylor. Well, Mater made the great throw on a sidearm charging in from third base, but the third baseman, Mater, was coming in to make that play defensively and got the out at first. And then Spray, who saw Taylor making his way down to third, threw it to the bag, but nobody was covering. I don't know if you thought Kelch was coming over from short to cover the third base bag after Mater went up, but it goes over to the fence, and a run scores for Dodge City as they take the early 1-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning. Now at the plate, Mendoza hits one foul and falls behind 0-1. Felt really good about that sequence for Great Bend because it wasn't the easiest of throws for Mater. making that sidearm submarine throw on the run, coming in on that softly hit ground ball to the left side. But he was able to get the out at first base, and the throw to nobody. Cost Great Bend a run at the moment as Mendoza ready to go on the 1-2 pitch. Gruber sends it in, smacks it up in the air to the right side. Should stay fair, and getting underneath it is Stulsatz as he made a quick charge over to the foul line and has the catch for Great Bend. That one gave Great Bend plenty of time to get underneath, but I mentioned any fly ball hit pretty well is going to be somewhat of a challenge for any of those outfielders. Nothing too routine with the win this Friday night in Dodge City as Gruber stays outside to Aiden Sowers for ball one. Sowers 0 for 1 so far tonight as he popped up to the first base side his last time up. Holds off on the check swing on a pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Sowers, their leading hitter at .474 on this season. Pops up again. This goes to the left side of the field. Mater gets underneath and has to readjust to the wind and makes a diving play on the foul line to record that out. Get it up in the air. It won't be easy, but Mater makes a good recovery, diving and making the catch for the final out of the inning. A costly error thrown over to third base with nobody covering allows Dodge City to score 1 as they had the 1-0 lead through 3 innings at Demon Field. Back for the top of the 4th on GreatBendPost.com. Dodge City will send out a new pitcher to begin the 4th inning with a 1-0 lead as Jason Keck will take over for Dawson Taylor. So Taylor goes 3 innings this evening. As we'll get to his stat line in just a moment as we're ready to go in the top of the 4th inning. Stulsatz quickly hits one foul about 2 or 3 feet to the left of the third base bag. 0-1 on Tyler. Stulsatz, Combs, and Poe due up in the 4th inning. Great Bend trailing 1-0 as Dodge City able to score a run after no hits in that last half inning of work. 2 errors by Great Bend, allowing the run to eventually score for the Red Demons, taking the 1-0 lead. As Keck brings it in, and another line shot by Stulsatz. And Stulsatz, the last 3 days, red hot for the Great Bend Bats, as he has back-to-back singles to start out this game against Dodge City. So for the second time so far tonight, Great Bend has their leadoff batter on board as Carter Combs will come up to the plate, getting the final instructions from head coach Randy Beck with 1 foot in the box. Now completely steps in with nobody out in the top of the 4th. Keck, a right-handed throwing pitcher, showing bunt as Combs as he got the corners in. And now Stulsatz caught in between first and second, slides underneath the tag, and he is in safe. That throw down to second as they had him in a jam was a little bit high, and Stulsatz was able to slide to the right of the tag, and he's down at second. So Great Bend dodges a mistake there as Stulsatz got caught in between first and second. Tyler stays on board now at second base, so nobody out. That pitch was called for a strike against Combs, as Keck showing bunt again as Combs can't lay this one down. Combs had a beautiful bunt lay down Tuesday night in that second game against TMP, and now down in the count at 0-2. So Dawson Taylor for Dodge City, who goes out with the 1-0 lead, went 3 innings, gave up 4 hits, walked 2 batters, and struck out 2. Combs with 0-2 on his count, pulls the barrel back, gets away from the catcher on a pitch outside, and Stulsatz will easily make his way down to third base as the wind continues to pick up this Friday night in Dodge City. Well, the Panthers are finally starting to get a little bit to Dawson Taylor in that last half inning in the third, and probably a big reason why after that 1-0 lead, the switch for head coach Shipley of Dodge City. 1-2, ready to go for Keck, and this one stays low, skipping into the catcher Rickenberg. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Keck, his 8th appearance on the mound for Dodge City, comes in with a record of 2-1. A good ERA of 1.26 as he sends in the 2-2. Combs eyes it all the way back to the glove low, and he'll go to a full count after it was an 0-2 start, 3 straight balls to Combs. Runner down at third, nobody out. Top of the fourth, Great Bend trailing 1-0. Combs takes a hack at this one and smacks it immediately to his ankle. Oof, has to walk that one off as he goes halfway to the first base dugout. And now we'll head back to pick up his bat at home plate. And Keck, when he has gotten into the game, pitching-wise, he has been a strikeout pitcher. And goes to work on a 3-2 to Combs. Combs, ground ball, high chopper over the third baseman, but going foul. That would have been a nice spot to easily score Stulsatz at third base, but instead coming back for another 3-2. Keck, in 16 2/3 innings of work, has struck out 14 batters. So just under 1 strikeout per inning of work for Keck. Again, the 3-2. Combs reaches out on a pitch outside and will go down swinging. So runner still at third base for Great Bend. Now 1 out in the top of the fourth inning for Jade Poe, who's 0 for 1 as so far tonight with a pop-up to the first baseman. And Rickenberg and relief pitcher Keck making sure they're on the same page as they go both halfway out in between the pitcher's mound and home plate. Wind wasn't much of an issue before the start of tonight's ball game, but man, did it pick up during warm-ups about 15-20 minutes before the game started, and it hasn't let up a whole lot since. Right to our backs near home plate as this one stays outside for Poe for ball number 1. Later start time as well, that JV game, they eventually called it about 5:45. And that allowed the first pitch to come down at 6:26. 1-0 from Keck. Ground ball, left side. Well hit, but to the shortstop, and he fields his play is at first for the second out, but Great Bend will bring in a run. So Jade Poe does his job. He puts it in play. Second out recorded, but Great Bend able to tie this one up in the top of the fourth inning at once. So with the base path clear, that'll bring up Sage Kelsch, who is 1 for 2 so far tonight. 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning in a 1-1 game. Great Bend has out-hit Dodge City 5-1 so far tonight as Kelsch comes up empty on the first swing, 0-1. Kelsch now with a 5-game hitting streak for the Panthers, hitting right at .500 on the season. 1 for 2 tonight with a single his last time up, as he awaits the 0-1 from Keck, and Limbo's out of the way trying to sell that call, but is called strike 2 on the inner part of the plate. Kelsch with a 5-hit performance Tuesday night in the doubleheader against TMP. Awaits the 0-2 and holds off on a skipping ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kelsch leading the team in plate appearances as he's been that leadoff man for the season for head coach Randy Beck. Also leads the team in doubles. He had 2 doubles Tuesday night, now up to 7 doubles on the season. Looking to drive one here on a 1-2 pitch, but comes up empty on the 1-2 and goes down swinging for the final out of the inning. So for the Great Bend Panthers, they get a leadoff single by Stulsatz, eventually comes around to score on the push hit by Jade Poe. It's a 1-1 game through 3.5 innings. Back to Demon Field after this on GreatBendPost.com. with a chance to claim a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship this Friday night in Dodge City. Great Bend, even with the Red Demons at 1 apiece as we take it to the bottom of the 4th inning, as Chase Gruber will come back out to work for the Panthers. So far, it's just given up 1 hit and the 1 run, but not earned, as Dodge City was able to score a run on a couple errors that last time out defensively for Great Bend, as a quick swing and a foul tip by Keck goes behind 0-1 for the leadoff batter to start out this 4th inning for Dodge. Mentioned Gruber was the winning pitcher the last time these two teams met up, as the 0-1 is sent in on a fastball upstairs. 1-1 counts now on Keck. Gruber was able to go all 7 innings against the Red Demons back in Great Bend on April 19th. Gave up just 4 hits, 3 runs, and only faced 26 batters in that 7-inning game. Fly ball right field underneath his stool sods, and makes a fairly routine catch despite that wind out in right field for out number 1. So I'm going to bring up Caleb Miles. He is the one of the 2 strikeout victims that Gruber has so far tonight, as he struck out in the 2nd inning, as he'll get his second look at the senior pitcher for the Panthers. As the righty sends in the first offering, the off-speed pitch curls outside for ball number 1. Mentioned Gruber 4-1 so far on the season. Teams have just been hitting 170 against Chase Gruber this year, as he burns it upstairs. 2-0 counts now on Miles. As the Panthers have had solid pitching performances all season long. Really only game that got away from this pitching staff was that first game against Hayes High, in which the Indians eventually won 16-6. This is inside now, the 3-0 pitch, and Gruber has a 4-pitch walk to Caleb Miles. So just the first walk given up by Gruber so far tonight, but it came on 4 straight pitches to Caleb Miles. Now Sage Rickenberg will come up to the plate, who also drew a walk his first time up. Well, Gruber doesn't walk very many. That's only his 4th walk given up so far this season. Closing in on 30 innings of work for Gruber, has only walked 4 batters. So a rare sight for Chase as he comes back to work on Rickenberg and gets a foul ball and a check swing, 0-1 on the starting catcher. Gruber has starts against Junction City, Liberal, Hayes, and Dodge City. The only loss for Gruber in his 4-1 starts in his senior season was that game against Hayes back on April 12th. When the Indians won 16-6, Rickenberg shoots this one foul, 0-2 the count. Coming in, Gruber had given up just 16 hits on the year. Mentioned only 3 walks coming into the matchup and had 28 strikeouts, now with 30 Ks his senior season on the mound, and has been one of the more heavily used pitchers so far on the season for Great Bend. But they definitely had their options. We saw good performances by Stulsatz and Spray Tuesday night in Hayes against TMP, and strike 3 is called as Gruber able to freeze Rickenberg for out number 2. Third strikeout of the evening for Gruber as that wind continues to howl in, coming in from home plate. And it's kind of shifted directions a little bit as well, as it a little bit shifty out there as it makes its way even kind of closer to right center field as a fastball burns in outside to Ruiz, as that'll be ball number 1. The thing you like about Gruber, and even probably a quicker pace than any other Great Bend pitcher so far this season, upstairs, 2-0 counts now on Ruiz. Not only does he go to work very quickly, but the way he gets those fastballs in, the velocity that he has, it almost makes for an even quicker game when he's on. 2-0 is fouled back to the netting, 2 balls and a strike. As he's had less than 13 pitches in an inning 18 times this year. There's a lot of obscure stats out there when you're calculating for baseball, but that one stands out. Throw over to first, and they caught him leaning, and they get the pick off. Miles was leaning towards second base, and Great Bend able to pick him off at first base for the final out of the inning. And the Dodge City Red Demons unable to get anything done in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Tied up at 4s in a very meaningful game for the Great Bend Panthers. Top of the 5th inning coming up next on GreatBendPost.com. Big thanks to the Mater family and the Spray family for bringing us our broadcasts on a GreatBendPost.com throughout the season. Cole Ripe with you on a Friday night in Dodge City. Big matchup for the Panthers closing out their conference action in Dodge. Great Bend 5-2 in league play in the WAC. A win tonight will give them a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship with Hayes. A loss tonight would allow Hayes High to win it outright. Top of the fifth inning will be Paco Hernandez for GBHS as he watches one in outside to relief pitcher Chasten Keck. Hernandez 1 for 2 so far tonight as the righty brings in the 1-0. This one hit right up the middle and screams past that diving shortstop. Miles had a great layout for that one, but couldn't catch up to it as it whistled past him, and Hernandez will have his second hit of the ball game and a leadoff single for Great Bend. So the Panthers have out-hit Dodge City 6-1 so far tonight for those 2 errors in the third inning defensively for the Panthers, costing them a run. And level at 1 so far tonight. Here's Chase Gruber trying to help out his cause. The ground ball gets past the third baseman. Back-to-back hits for the Panthers in red and white tonight in Dodge City. First and second for Great Bend as Steph Spray will come up to the plate. They got after it to start out that third inning as well as Kelsh and Hernandez went back-to-back hits. And now Hernandez and Gruber go back-to-back. But eventually they left the bases loaded without getting a run across in that third inning. Here's Steph Spray with runners at first and second, showing bunt and got it on the inner part of the bat and near the hand for Spray. And he'll have to come back as this one dribbles foul, 0-1. Mentioned Spray in his last 6 games now, just 1 for 16 at the plates, hitting below 270 on the year. But one of these big seniors for Great Bend is capable for coming through. He had a great start to the season, now just trying to get back on track for the Panthers. He remains in that cleanup spot, and you just have that feeling it's just a matter of time before he gets through. He has that smooth swing. 0-1 count as Spray will have to wait a little bit longer as the wind picks up, and the pitcher Keck looks back Hernandez at second base. So good speed on the base path for Great Bend with Hernandez down at second in scoring position. As Spray will get ready to go, showing bunt again, pushes it back to the middle to the pitcher. Only play is at first base, and Spray will be recorded out. But both runners moving up to second and third now for the Panthers. Haberman, who at times has been an RBI machine, will come to the plate for Great Bend. 0 for 1 tonight with a ground down and a walk. Second and third with 1 out. Keck delivers, unable to hit low as it goes to 1-0. 16 RBIs so far this year for Gavin Haberman, who leads the team in that category. As the 1-0 brought in, this one shot right back up the middle. Line shot to the shortstop. He'll either run her back to second, but Hernandez will come in to score from third as Haberman is called out at first. 2 outs now in the 5th inning, but the Panthers take their first lead of the game as Haberman hit a sharply hit ground ball to the shortstop. Two-1 at Great Bend. Brad Beck at the plate. Gruber now down at second base for the Panthers, dancing around, and the shortstop, Miles, trying to sneak in from beneath him, or from behind him, and will walk him back to the second base bag. Gruber takes his lead again, and now the second baseman will start to slide over, get a little bit close to the bag. Here comes the pitch, and this one comes in tight to Brad Beck for ball number 1. Beck 0 for 1 after that big performance Tuesday night in TMP, as he was able to get 4 hits, including 3 hits in that second game, as now timeout will be called. And we'll see if we have a pitching change for Dodge City. It looks like Keck might remain out there for the Red Demons. Dawson Taylor got the start tonight. He went 3 innings for Dodge City, and he was pulled after the third with a 1-0 lead. He gave up just 4 hits, walked a couple batters, struck out 2, but you could tell Great Bend was starting to get a little bit better feel for Dawson Taylor, so they came out with Keck to begin that 4th inning. And Keck did his job after giving up a leadoff single in that 4th inning to Stool Sox. Came back with a strikeout, then got a sac hit from Jay Poe. before the fly out by Kelch. And now Keck got himself into a little bit of a jam after back-to-back singles. Great Bend has scored one to take the 2-1 lead. 2 outs, top of the 5th inning, 2-1 ball game. As Brad Beck with a 2-0 count with Gruber down at second base for the Panthers. Nice curveball by Keck as it slides in for strike one. Lights are on at Demon Field as that wind has continued to be a little bit of a menace for everybody out there as the jackets and blankets starting to surface here in Dodge City this Friday night. 2-1 game, Great Bend on top. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Beck will bounce this one on the ground. And charging in the third baseman. Long throw away from the first baseman. And now it'll be Gruber coming in to score from second. And Great Bend takes a 3-1 lead on an errant throw by the third baseman, Mendoza. They ruled an error going against Dodge City, and the Panthers able to strike with 2 in the 5th to take a 3-1 lead. And now Tyler Stulsatz will get out of the way of a tight pitch for ball number 1. Stulsatz has been swinging the lumber well so far here in the last few days. 2 for 2 tonight with a couple of singles as a runner down at first, and Great Bend leading 3-1 with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Skies it into shallow center field. Smith gets underneath this one, now retreats back to his left and brings it in for the final out of the inning. But for the Great Bend Panthers, they start out the inning with back-to-back hits. Eventually an error and an RBI ground ball by Haberman allows Great Bend to take a 2-run lead. Panthers 3, Red Demons of Dodge City 1. Bottom of the 5th inning. Coming up next on GreatBendPost.com. Down to 71 degrees in Dodge City this Friday night. Just been a pretty significant dip. 71 would still be good, but that breeze makes it feel a little bit chillier. Low set for 55 degrees in Dodge City this Friday evening. Then back into the low 70s for tomorrow and the rest of the weekend throughout much of southwest and central Kansas. Bottom of the 5th inning at Demon Field. 3-1 at Great Bend on top as Chase Gruber comes back out to work as he takes on Ruiz, who is 0 for 1 so far tonight. Old Gruber has given up just 1 hit so far tonight against this Red Demon offense. And that ERA, which was just over 1 coming into this matchup, now well under 1. This one shot out of center field. Haberman backing up 2-3 steps and has the catch. A good cut by Ruiz as he got a decent piece of this one, but Haberman had the direct read coming off the plate. 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th inning for Leighton Blatnick. Well, I mentioned Gruber. He was the winning pitcher against Dodge City in the first game against the Red Demons as the fastball called strike 1 on the outer part of the plate to the right-handed hitting Blatnick. He went all 7 innings in that performance against the Red Demons, and at the moment, he is on target here. There's a stretch bloop, ground ball, left side, Kelch. Nice sidearm throw for the second out of the inning. Well, as softly as that was hit initially by Blatnick, you thought he had a chance, but Sage Kelch, who has been and nails at shortstop all season long, makes a great play from short. So 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Great Bend trying to keep the bat silent for Dodge City after the Panthers had scored 2 in the top half of this inning to take the 3-1 lead. As this one stays in tight to Dawson Taylor, who's 0 for 1 so far tonight. Chase Gruber hasn't faced more than 4 batters all game long. 4 in the first, 4 in the second, 4 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and now taking on his third batter in this 5th inning. A swing and a miss on the 2-0 pitch goes to 2 balls and 1 strike on Taylor. 3 strikeouts so far for Gruber as he burns in the 2-1 pitch for a strike 2 called, much to the chagrin of the Red Demon fans here in Dodge City. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Taylor. Taylor takes time out, and he was the cause of the trouble back in the 3rd inning. He eventually reached on an error after he hit it to second base, and then another throwing error later in the inning would eventually score Taylor from second base. 2-2 pitch, and he fouls it straight back to stay alive. It'll stay at 2-2. That outing against Dodge City back on April 19th for Gruber on the mound. That was his longest outing of the season, going all 7 innings. Previous longest was 6. As the 2-2 swing and a miss, he got him on a tight pitch in on the hands. And Chase Gruber has his 4th strikeout of the ball game, and he retires his side. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Chase Gruber and the Panthers as GBHS takes a 3-1 lead to the top of the 6th inning on GreatBendPost.com. Back at Demon Field on a windy Friday evening on GreatBendPost.com. 3-1, Great Bend on top as we get ready to go for the 6th inning in Dodge City. Carter Combs, Jade Poe, and Sage Kelsch all due up for GBHS. Great Bend trying to make it 5 straight wins, and if they can hold on tonight with this 3-1 lead, they will get a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship. And you talk about the confidence of a team just getting that type of a championship, even with a share with Hayes High, would mean a lot for this big senior class for Great Bend. But still enough baseball to be played this Friday night in Dodge City, as it'll be the Panthers' Combs to start things off in the 6th. Combs still looking to stretch out his 3-game hit streak. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight, as Keck winds and brings in the first pitch for ball number 1 off the plates. Combs hitting .333 on the season. Hit those 2 doubles in the first 3 games this season. Hasn't hit an extra base hit since, as he takes the second offering for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Picked up his first career 3-hit game this past Tuesday at TMP in that second game, going 3 for 3. In near the shoot tops, 2 balls, 1 strike now on Combs. And he also got out of an RBI slump. Had an RBI Tuesday. That was his first RBI since April 8th. 2-1 pitch stays well outside. 3 balls, 1 strike on Combs. .3-1 comes in well inside on the sophomore second baseman, and he draws a walk to start out the inning for Great Bend. 4 straight innings that the Panthers have had their leadoff batter on board. The previous 3 were by singles, and Combs able to do so via the walk. Here's Jade Poe. Poe 0 for 2 so far tonight, but brought in a run back in the 4th inning with his RBI. And Panthers eventually taking the 3-1 lead in that top half. Or tying it up in the 4th inning, then taking the lead in the 5th inning. As Combs takes a decent lead over at first base. Jumps as Poe was showing bunt. Now stuck in between first and second on that big jump. Dodge City trying to run down Combs in the pickle. Going towards second base. Now caught him on the backtrack and will tag him on the back. Combs had that big jump after that throw to home plate to Jade Poe. And then the catcher, Rickenberg, immediately stood up, and he could take his choice throwing either first or second. And eventually they run down Combs in between first and second for out number 1. Drawing the leadoff walk, nobody on. Now 1 out for the Panthers as Jade Poe holds off on a pitch outside as it'll go to 2 balls, no strikes on the starting catcher for Great Bend. Poe able to get a hit Tuesday night, went 2 for 3 against the Monarchs, not playing in the first game, but batting in the second game. Playing catcher in both those contests, and starting catcher tonight as he takes the pitch for a strike. Quickly 2 balls and a strike on Poe. So Poe able to get his average up to 200, but mentioned 0 for 2 so far this evening. As Keck sends in the 2-1 pitch, and that one just off its mark outside. 3 balls and a strike to Poe. 2 RBIs Tuesday for Poe. That was the first time he's had more than 1 RBI in a game so far this year. Now up to 6 RBIs on the season. 3-1 pitch comes his way, and that hits the upper part of the zone for strike number 2. Keck trying to come back with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Great Bend leading 3-1 after scoring 2 in the last half inning of work. Poe watches one bounce in away from the catcher, and an easy walk decision for Jade Poe on the 3-2 pitch as he'll walk his way down to first base. So back-to-back walks given up by Chasten Keck, but eventually picking off Combs in between first and second. Now has Great Bend with a runner on at first and 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. And now Coach Shipley will make his way back out to the pitcher's mound, and Keck looks to have his evening come to a close as they're looking to shuffle players around. So a pitching change for Dodge City. This will be their second relief pitcher of the ball game. The Panthers trying to hold on. They're on top 3-1, trying to get a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship with Hayes High if they can hold on for a win. In the top of the 6th inning, Panthers on top 3-1. New pitcher coming our way on GreatBendPost.com. Dodge City sends in a new pitcher before Great Bend can get to the top of the lineup as Sage Kelsch making his way to home plate, as it'll be Aiden Sowers, the new pitcher for Dodge City. Taylor got the start, went 3 innings. Keck goes 2 1/3 innings, as we'll get to his stat line in just a moment. And now Aiden Sowers, another one of the seniors for Dodge City, will be on the mound for the Red Demons. It's been all Chase Gruber, the starting pitcher for Great Bend so far tonight, as the Panthers had the 3-1 lead. About hit Dodge 7-1. Runner down at first as this one comes bouncing in, and then eventually ricochets off the catcher, and I believe even the home plate umpire, and allows Great Bend to advance down to second for Jade Poe. Pinch runner for the Panthers down at second for the catcher Poe. Kelsch was already able to extend his hitting streak. Now has hit safely in 5 straight games. Awaits the 1-0, and this one again. This one hits off the shoe tops of Sage Kelsch, and he'll get a base. As the first batter we've seen hit so far tonight, and Kelsch takes one low. And now first and second for Great Bend as Paco Hernandez comes up to the plate, who has back-to-back hits, 2 for 3 so far tonight. 1 out, top of the 6th inning, 3-1, Great Bend on top. Looking for a share of the WAC championship if they can get a win, and Hernandez takes the strike on the outer part of the plate. Hernandez hitting .532 on the season, leads the team with 27 hits. Has hit safely in 5 straight games, and back-to-back strikes dialed up by Aiden Sowers. Rare strikeout to start out this game from Hernandez. Now trying to avoid another one. Here's the 0-2 from Sowers, and the fastball misses out and low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hernandez has 5 RBIs in the last 3 games for Great Bend, now up to 14 ribbies on the season. Sowers sets, head nods, 2 home plate, 1-2 well off the dish. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Paco. Paco's also had back-to-back games with at least 1 double. 3 extra base hits in the last 2 games. Would love to see a double here with runners at first and second. Easy layoff on an outside pitch, and he has worked it full. So after back-to-back strikes from Sowers, 3 straight balls from the senior pitcher. First and second with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. 3-1, Great Bend on top. 3-2 brought into home plate, and again misses out. They continue to find the corner and paint that outside part of the plate, but unable to get that call 4 straight times. And it'll be the bases loaded now for Great Bend and Chase Gruber. Sowers already came into a tough spot with a runner on at first, and then hit his first batter that he faced in Kelch. Now gives him a walk to Hernandez, and this one stays in tight to the right-handed hitting Chase Gruber. Gruber 2 for 3 so far tonight on a pair of singles. And the 1-0 pitch stays high and away. Gruber continues to lead the team in batting average at .537. And has hit a double in 3 of the last 4 games. 2-0 pitch, holds off, and a pitch upstairs. As it goes to 3 balls, no strikes now on Chase Gruber. Bases loaded with 1 out. We'll see how patient Gruber is on the 3-0 pitch. And you can tell he was taken all the way as Sowers stays alive as he dials up strike number 1. .3-1 pitch now to Chase. Comes in low across the shoe tops, and that'll walk in a run. So Great Bend takes a 4-1 lead with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning on a bases-loaded walk to Chase Gruber. Here comes Steph Spray. Spray able to quickly dart backwards out of the way on an inside pitch for ball number 1. Spray 0 for 3 so far tonight. Looking for a big clutch hit to put this one over the top for Great Bend. Takes the next pitch for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike now on the senior starting first baseman for Great Bend. Settles back in. Sowers on the 1-1. Hits the zone again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kelch at third. Hernandez at second. Gruber at first base for Great Bend. 1 out. Top of the 6th. 1-2 pitch comes in, and Spray holds off on strike 3 called, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Second strikeout of the ball game for Spray as he goes back to the dugouts. Now it'll be up to Gavin Haberman if Great Bend really wants to jump on Dodge City in the 6th inning. Sowers quickly goes to work on Gavin inside for ball number 1. Haberman 0 for 2 so far tonight, but with an RBI as he drew a walk in the 2nd inning. In there for strike 1 and called. Now 1-1 to Gavin. Gavin trying to keep his small hitting streak alive. Came in with hitting 3 straight. Pops one over to the right side of the field. Going back is the right fielder. Rua still continues to go back. Diving play over his glove and will roll to the wall. With 2 outs, the runners were moving. Gruber will come in to score from first base, and the Panthers unload on the base path and take a 6-1 lead on a moon shot to right center field on a windy night in Dodge City. You're looking for that big clutch hit And Haberman able to get it as Beck comes up swinging as the next batter at the plate and hits a foul, 0-1. And you're hoping one of these last few batters are able to bring in a big bunch, and Haberman able to do it. 0-1 stays well off the dish to Beck. 1 ball, 1 strike. So it'll be a 3 RBI triple in the books for Gavin Haberman. I mentioned his RBIs, they come in bunches. As the 1-1 pitch stays close to the knees to Beck, 2 balls and a strike. He's had a 4 RBI game as Haberman, and now he's had 2 3 RBI games. 2-1 from Sowers, fastball off the plate away from the right-handed hitting Beck. 3 balls and a strike now on Brad. Haberman bounces off at third base. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Beck will take us full. Beck 0 for 2 so far tonight. Reached on an error in the 5th and grounded out in the 3rd. It drew a walk in the 2nd. 3-2 comes his way, holds off on strike 3 called, and that'll do it for the inning. But for the Panthers, they brought in 1 run via the walk, and then a 3 RBI triple by Gavin Haberman has given the Panthers some cushion going to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Great Bend 7, Dodge City 1 on GreatBendPost.com. Back at Demon Field this Friday night, Great Bend looking for a share of the WAC championship. Are now getting a little bit closer, starting to field a little bit. 7-1, Great Bend on top of Dodge City. Bottom of the 6th inning as Gruber goes to work against the top of the lineup for the Red Demons. Strike 1 called on the first offering to Tucker Smith. The Panthers able to score 4 runs in the top half of this inning as the wind picks up. And now Smith drives one out into left center field. Hernandez on his horse and won't be able to catch up to this one. Tracks it down at the wall. Smith making his way around second base and will put on the brakes at third as Great Bend relays it back in. So for Dodge City looking for any life down 7-1, that's a big way to get just your second hit of the ball game, a triple by Tucker Smith. Well, that was a shot by Tucker Smith, and the wind continued to aid that one over both Haberman and Paco Hernandez out in left and center field. As you knew it was going to be trouble on a big-time drive by Smith. So he's down at third base, nobody out, just getting started in the 6th inning. Great Bend on top 7-1, but in a dangerous spot of that lineup for Chase Gruber and the Panthers, as Eric Mendoza takes the first pitch fastball upstairs for ball number 1. Mendoza has one of the 2 other hits so far tonight as the 1-0 pitch takes a massive cut and comes up empty. That wind howling right now, I think these batters feel it, and that's coming nearly straight in from home plate. It's shifting around a little bit out near right center as you see that American flag whip around in right center field just to the right of the scoreboard as Mendoza takes the next pitch for a strike. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Batters definitely feel it as those pitchers are having to work to bring that one into home plate. 1-2, got him stretching on a swing and a miss. That's a big out after giving up a leadoff triple as Gruber has his 5th K of the game. 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th inning, 7-1, Great Bend leading. Here's Aiden Sowers 0 for 2 so far tonight with a runner down at third and a first pitch in for ball number 1. Oh, try to frame that one back over to home plate, and now even turning around to make sure where that call was at. But it goes for a ball to Aiden Sowers. And he takes the next pitch, fastball, just burning by the left-handed hitting Sowers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sowers coming into this single game, hitting .474. 1-1, ropes it to right field, but going foul by about a foot, maybe 2 feet max. Close down the line in right field, but Sowers will come back for a 1-2. Sowers with 10 RBIs so far this year. 3 doubles and 3 triples hit. Gruber trying to sit him down, able to do so on a swing and a whiff. And Aiden Sowers makes his way back to the dugout. 2 gone after the leadoff triple, as that'll bring up Chasen Keck. Oh, big back-to-back strikeouts by Chase Gruber as he continues to have the velocity in the 6th inning. Keck takes a cut at it, and it'll be a blue pit out in center field, and Dodge City will score a run. Now 7-2, Great Bend on top by 5. First pitch swinging is Keck as he has his first hit of the ball game and the 3rd of the game for the Red Demons. That wind really starting to whip around at Demon Field this Friday night. As Caleb Miles at the plate, pitch well outside away from Poe, the catcher, and that will allow Keck to ease his way down to second base for Dodge City. Panthers surrender a run in the 6th inning, but had a big half inning of their own to get that 7-1 lead. Now it's 7-2 as the 1-0 pitch stays chin high to Miles for ball number 2. Miles hitting .289 so far on this season. It is 0 for 1 so far tonight as they get the pinch runner for Keck. As we'll sub in, Landon Elling will go down to second base for the Red Demons. Miles, a .289 hitter, 11 hits so far this year. Mentioned 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout and a walk. As a 2-0 count, Gruber burns one in for strike number 1. Miles has had issues with strikeouts so far in the season. He has struck out 15 times so far this year for Dodge City. Now 16, accounting today's K back in the 2nd. 2-1 pitch in there for strike number 2 called. So Gruber had given up just 1 hit through 5 innings of work tonight. Has given up 2 hits so far in the 6th and surrendered a run. They're trying to come back on the 2-2. Push to right field, now going into foul territory and just over the fence between the first base bag and the corner foul pole. And it'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Miles. Panthers looking for some momentum before they head to Hayes for that 4-game tournament that starts Thursday night against Hayes High in a non-conference game. 2-2 brought in. Strike 3 is called. Absolutely frozen is Miles. And Gruber, after giving up a lead-off triple, struck out 2. Then the RBI single by Keck, but retires his side with another K. Dodge City gets 1 on 2 hits, but it's Great Bend on top 7-2 to the 7th inning here in Dodge City on GreatBendPost.com. And the temperature continues to drop as we get closer to sunset this Friday night in Dodge City at 67 degrees as we make our way close to the 8 o'clock hour. 7-2, Great Bend on top of the 7th inning as the Panthers were scoreless through the first 3 innings, trailed it 1-0, going to the 4th, able to tie it up in that 4th inning. Took their first lead in the 5th inning with 2 runs, and then it opened it up in the 6th inning with 4 runs. But Dodge City scratching back with run in the last half inning, and we have a 7-2 ball game as Tyler Stulsatz, Carter Combs, and Jade Poe all coming up to the plate for GBHS. Now, to mention, Stulsatz has had himself a good 3-game stretch. Hit well in Hayes against TMP with 4 hits in the doubleheader, and has 2 hits tonight. Eyes in as strike 1 on the inner part of the plates. Sowers, the second relief pitcher, and now a strike is called. Now, home plate umpire will come back and give a warning to some of the fans directly behind home plate after that strike was called on Stulsatz. And now continues to look back at this crowd. It's kind of a mix between Great Bend and Dodge City fans over near home plate. But whatever was itching at him, he had enough as the 0-2 fouled off by Stulsatz as it rolls backwards and will stay at no balls and 2 strikes. (7-2), Great Bend on top, and at this point right now, just looking for some extra runs with that 5-run lead. Have out-hit Dodge City 8-3. It was tight throughout the first 3.5 innings as Stulsatz watches in a close one tight. 1 ball, 2 strikes now in Tyler. Stulsatz now at the 2 hits tonight has been able to get his average over 300s now in this 3-game stretch. As the 1-2 brought in, again close to the knees, but inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Before Tuesday, Stulsatz was hitting 111. Now he's hitting well over 300 on the season. That's high school baseball. Stats can turn in a hurry, and Stulsatz will turn on this one as he shoots it out in the left center field. Will make a turn to look at second. That holds up at first base as Dodge City brings it back in, and it's a 3-hit game for Tyler Stulsatz. And for the 5th straight inning, Great Bend has their leadoff batter on board. They've been able to get that leadoff guy on board ever since that 3rd inning. As Stulsatz picks up his 3rd single of the game. Here's Carter Combs, and potentially his last chance to extend his hitting streak, showing bunts as they throw back over to first base. Combs 0 for 2 so far tonight. Drew a walk his last time up in that big 6th inning for Great Bend. That started out the inning. And again showing bunt. Strike called. Snap throw down to first. Stulsatz is back in time. Combs hitting .333 so far on this season. Has a couple doubles, but no extra base hits since April 5th. 0-1, again showing bunts, but Aiden Sauer is very concerned with Tyler Stulsatz down at first base as he continues to throw that direction. The lights on at Demon Field on a Friday night. Here's the 0-1. Combs' bunt attempt fouled straight back to the press box and over the top as he'll go down 0-2. He tried to lay down a bunt his last time up, but eventually had to pull the barrel back after getting behind 0-2, but give credit to the sophomore. He fought back and eventually drew a walk his last time up after falling behind 0-2. Sauer sends in that 0-2 pitch in tight as the catcher Rickenberg tried to frame it back up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was just the 3rd walk drawn all season for Combs back in that 6th inning. And now another throw down to first base as Stulsatz getting dirty, sliding back and forth. 9 hits in the game for Great Bend. After 31 hits in the doubleheader this past Tuesday night. They have been hitting well all season. There's a high chopper back up the middle. Dodge City will have a chance at 2. Out at second and safe at first. Combs able to break it up, avoid the double play. as they get the lead runner stool shots as Holmes hits into the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Jade Poe. The Panthers will be off until next Thursday night when they start up the Diamond Classic in Hayes. Will take on their rival Hayes High in a non-conference game Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. Holmes, who was picked off in between first and second his last time up, Sowers quickly goes to work on a throwback over to the first base bag. Now the lefty sends the first one into Poe, and he took a monster cut and comes up empty. And now Rickenberg throws down to first, the catcher, but Holmes is able to slide back in safely. Holmes definitely has the ability to steal. 5 stolen bases so far in the season for the Panthers as Sowers goes back that direction, and Holmes had barely moved off the first base bag about 4 or 5 feet. Now takes another lead, another extra step for the sophomore. And 0-1 counts for Jay Poe. 7-2, Grapin on top, and this one stays in tights. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jay. Sowers, that lefty, has that great look at first base, but brings it in towards home plate. Poe will pop it up right side, quickly rolling foul. Tough play for the first baseman, and unable to come up with the catch is Tucker Smith, as he had it over his shoulder running close to that fence, and he'll stay at 1 ball, 2 strikes on Poe. Poe with an RBI so far tonight, yet to have a hit. Go back to Dodge City's first run. They scored in the 3rd inning without a single hit. 2 errors in that game, or that inning, I should say, for Great Bend allowed Dodge City to take the early lead. 1-2 to Poe, down the pipe for strike 3 called. Snap throw to first, and Combs able to get back in safely. But the strikeout on Poe records the 2nd out of the inning for Dodge City. So Sage Kelsch will come up to the plate. He is 1 for 3 so far this evening, as he has now a 5-game hitting streak. That 7-game hitting streak to start out the season, then went 0 for 4 against Garden City in that doubleheader back at home about 2 weeks ago. That's 7 multi-hit games. Looking for one here, but a ground ball to the shortstop, but not a play for Miles. Got him deep in the hole. It'll go for an infield single for Sage Kelsch, and it comes with 2 outs for the Great Bend Panthers, now 1st and 2nd for Paco Hernandez. And anytime you can get extra looks for Paco Hernandez at the plate in his senior year, it's a good thing. Paco hitting .532 coming into Dodge City, and he's 2 for 3 so far tonight with a couple of singles and a walk, and rolls this one foul, backing out of play, 0-1. 5 straight games with a hit for Hernandez. Only has 2 games on the entire season that he hasn't been able to come up with a hit. And now has 9 multi-hit games. Sowers looks at the lead runner at second, outside Hernandez, 1 ball, 1 strike. Paco's slugging percentage at .809 coming into this single game against Dodge City. Has 4 doubles, 3 triples, and a home run to his name in his senior year. 1-1, it comes in close to the face of Hernandez as he limbos out of the way, 2 balls and a strike. He's also hit in clutch timing as he is hitting .458 with runners in scoring position. He has Combs down a second, 2-1 pitch for Hernandez, and fouls it straight back, evens it up at 2 apiece. Had that rare strikeout to start out tonight's ball game, only the 2nd time all season that he struck out. But since then, a couple singles and a walk. We'll tighten up on the 2-2 as Sowers sets. The lefty brings it in. Outside, but got Paco reaching. Is dropped by the catcher. They'll throw down that way to get the final out of the inning. So a rare night for Paco. He has 2 hits to his name, but 2 strikeouts. But his team is on top by 5. Great Bend trying to shut the door on the Red Demons. Bottom of the 7th coming up. It's Great Bend 7, Dodge City 2 on GreatBendPost.com. Chase Gruber trying to throw the complete game in this Friday evening in Dodge City. Comes out for the 7th and a 7-2 lead for Great Bend. Takes on Sage Rickenberg to start out the 7th inning and inside on ball number 1. So Gruber had only given up 1 hit through 5 innings. Dodge City got to him 2 times in the 6th, including a leadoff triple by Tucker Smith as he finds his own on the next pitch. Now 1 ball, 1 strike to Rickenberg. Other than that, it's been smooth sailing for Chase Gruber on the mound. There's a high hopper to the second baseman. Combs jumps up to grab it, has to make a strong throw to beat him, and is able to do so. That took a high hop as he was coming in towards Carter Combs, and then he had to make a pretty strong throw trying to recover from that big hop, and he made it look pretty easy. 1 gone, bottom of the 7th inning, Great Bend 7, Dodge City 2. Panthers looking to hold on for a win to get a share of the WAC championship along with Hayes High. Ruiz will come into the to the plates now for Dodge City as he eyes one outside for ball number 1. Kelsch looking for, Gruber looking for win number 5. Well hit ground ball. Kelsch is in front of it at shortstop and makes the throw to first in time for out number 2. So 2 ground outs for this Panther defense. Dodge City down to their final out. 7-2 ball game. Panthers on top by 5. Dodge City had the 1-0 lead through 3 innings. Great Bend tied it in the 4th and then took their first lead in the 5th inning and opened things up in the 6th inning by scoring 4. So Leighton Blatnick will come up, and he was swinging for the fences as he fouls it to the backstop, 0-1. Gruber only 1 loss on the season. That came against Hayes High on the mound on April 12th. He has won 2 games, or I should say 1 game since then, as he had a no decision in relief pitching against Garden City back on the 15th. There's the 0-1 pitch to Blatnick in on the hands as he was looking to get the barrel around, but it came in tight. Now 0-2 on the right-handed hitting left fielder. Blatnick 0 for 2 so far tonight, a strikeout and a ground out. And Gruber looking to go to work on the 0-2 fastball well off the dish. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Final WAC game of the season for Great Bend. 5-2 in league play. 1-2 pitch trying to get him to stretch out. Blatnick holds off the dish. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two outs, bottom of the 7th. Great Bend leading by 5. Here's the 2-2, and Blatnick stays alive as he sharply hits it foul and stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two again from Gruber. Took something off of it. Gets him to pop up. Heading out to center field, and it'll drop down in front of Haberman. A tough spot in between the infielders and Gavin Haberman coming in from center. And the inning continues on for Dodge City with 2 outs. It'll be a 2-out single, just the 4th hit of the game for the Red Demons, as Dawson Taylor will come up to the plates. Taylor 0 for 2 so far tonight. A strikeout reached on an error in the 3rd inning. Comes up to the plate for Dodge City with 2 outs in the 7th inning, trailing by 5 as Gruber quickly finds the zone on the first pitch. The righty sends in the next one, gets a pop-up. Great Bend will have a chance at this one, and it falls down in between Poe and Joseph Mater. Neither of them had a real good read on this one, even more difficult for Poe coming in from the catcher position. And it falls in foul territory, Now no balls and 2 strikes to Dawson Taylor. Runner on at first, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Great Bend 7, Dodge City 2. The 0-2 brought in well out of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gruber with 7 strikeouts so far in the ballgame. He has a chance to tie his season high with 8, which came last time against Dodge City. 1-2 brought in, swing and a miss, and Gruber will strike out this side. 8 Ks for the Great Bend Panthers, and they win the ball game. And GBHS, they claim a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship. They tie with Hayes High at 6-2 in WAC play. And look out, the Panthers have now won 5 straight games, 11-3 on the season. We'll take a break, come back to Demon Field to wrap it up with the postgame show on GreatBendPost.com. Great Bend able to keep their hot streak alive this Friday evening on a windy night in Dodge City as they win their 5th straight game, knocking off Dodge City 7-2 and claim a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship in 2022 as both Great Bend and Hayes High finish up at 6-2 in WAC play. A 7-2 final in this one as Great Bend out-hits Dodge City 10-4, and a gem on the mound for Chase Gruber. And it just seems like each and every game we keep talking about solid performances on the mound by these Great Bend pitchers. Last Tuesday night in Hayes, we saw Tyler Stulsatz go all 7 innings against TMP, and then Steph Spray picked up the 4-inning win in the second ball game and really good pitching. It was Chase Gruber tonight as he went all 7 innings for the complete game, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 2 batters, and ties his season high with 8 strikeouts. In fact, his last outing on the mound came against Dodge City back at the sports complex in Great Bend when he went all 7 innings and struck out 8 batters. He goes all 7 innings against the Red Demons again and strikes out 8 batters. So very similar performances for Chase Gruber in that game back in Great Bend. He gave up 4 hits to Dodge. He gave up 4 hits tonight. Now he gave up 3 runs to Red Demons at the sports complex and holds them to 2 runs here tonight. But similar numbers for Chase Gruber as he goes all 7 innings in both games against Dodge City in his senior year in 2022 as Great Bend comes away with the 3-2 victory. For the Panthers, they were trailing 1-0 after 3 innings after Dodge City scored on a 2-error 3rd inning. Without a single hit in that 3rd, it was Dodge taking the 1-0 lead. The Panthers would come back in the 4th inning as Jade Poe put one on the ground and eventually allowed Stulsatz to come in to score from 3rd base as the Panthers would tie it up at 1 in the 4th inning. Great Bend will come back in the 5th inning with back-to-back singles to start out the inning and eventually get a ground ball hit by Gavin Haberman that brought in a run and took their first lead of the game at 2-1 in the 5th inning. Then the Panthers, they've had some big innings during this 5-game winning streak, just kind of waiting for one of those big innings to come. It arrived in the 6th inning as the Panthers would score 4 runs in the 6th inning as they had just 1 hit in that entire 6th inning, but it was a big one. It started out with back-to-back walks by Combs and Poe. Dodge City would eventually switch pitchers, but Sowers came in and hit his first batter from Sage Kelch. The bases were loaded. Paco Hernandez would draw a walk with the bases loaded to bring in a run, and then Chase Gruber would bring in a run as well with a walk, and then Steph Spray struck out, but in a 3 RBI triple by Gavin Haberman with 2 outs in the inning, cleared the base path for Great Bend, and they opened up the 7-1 lead. Dodge City would scratch one across home plates in the 6th inning, get 1 back, but Great Bend holds on for the 7-2 victory. They out-hit Dodge City 10-4 here tonight. 2 errors for Great Bend, 1 error for Dodge City. So looking at the stat line again for Gruber, 7 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 2 batters, and also had 8 strikeouts. Gruber now 5-1 on the season as his ERA drops to under 1 on the year coming in to those matchups next week in Hayes. Offensively for the Panthers, it was Sage Kelch going 2 for 4 at the plate. Paco Hernandez 2 for 4 at the plate. Chase Gruber going 2 for 3 with an RBI. Steph Spray 0 for 4. Gavin Haberman 1 for 3, and the big triple brought in 3 runs for his RBIs. Brad Beck goes 0 for 3 at the plate. Tyler Stulsatz 3 for 4 tonight as he continues to hit well. He had 4 hits Tuesday night against TMP in the doubleheader, and he goes for 3 hits this evening. Carter Combs drew 1 walk, going 0 for 3, and Jade Poe 0 for 3, but also drew a walk and brought in 1 run for Great Bend. So nice win for the Great Bend Panthers on the road, and they're going to have to continue to do that. No more home games for the Panthers as they'll be back in action next Thursday night as they'll take on Hayes High in the Diamond Classic in Hayes, a non-conference game against their rivals of Hayes, as that'll start up at 6 o'clock on a Thursday evening. But Great Bend wins it this evening, now improving to 11-3 on the year. They have won 5 straight games and have claimed a share of the WAC championship in 2022 with Hayes High. So for the Panthers, they'll be off until Thursday when they play in the Diamond Classic. It'll be a busy 3-day stretch with 2 games on Friday and then 1 game on Saturday. Chase Gruber, the winning pitcher tonight for the Panthers, and it was Gavin Haberman with a 3 RBI triple to open things up this Friday evening as Great Bend claims a share of the WAC championship in 2022. That'll do it for our broadcast. Big thanks to the Spray family and also the Mater family bringing these broadcasts to you online at GreatBendPost.com. It is Cole Rife saying good night from Demon Field. Great Bend wins it 7-2 over